food, hopefully.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we ate a lot, man. I was full. I only ate one plate, dude, and I was gone. I was like done. I was all done.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
I bet.
so how's the family?
Good. Doing good. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
kids are getting
Everybody was.
lazier and lazier. They don't want to work these days.
They don't want to
And
work.
that's all over the place now. I talk
Mm-hmm.
to my buddies, and like some of our buddies are kids are the same. They're like, man, this whole new era, man, it's different, man. I don't like to fucking work. I can
Yeah, yeah.
imagine how I can imagine when this generation goes away. Shit, this whole fucking world's gonna be fucked.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh
You
yeah. They're
know
gonna
what
they're
I
gonna
mean?
all cry. Where's the
Uh,
Generation X?
Yeah, we're the
You
last
know.
of the Mohegans, man. Shit.
We are. Yeah, that's what they
Uh,
say. Well, that's what the Gooch was talking about, right? The last episode.
yeah, yeah, he mentioned it too. I was like, shit, I believe it.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah.
morons in the president.
Actors and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actors are gonna be stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that gonna be a big factor. The House
Oh
of the
yeah.
Senate, they're gonna be a bunch of morons. That it is, they're all morons. Imagine fucking after they die, shit.
They need to
Uh,
clean house, huh?
yeah, you clean house, and you know them. All them people just worship their master chief.
Yeah, yeah. And
You
that gets
know.
to show you that it gets to show you that if they're too naive about going for the other president, they're not bright enough. What does that get to show? Got to show you, or gets to show you that these people these days they could fall for anything, political
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying?
they're just
And
a sheep.
religious, yeah, and just imagine the Antichrist arrives, how gullible they're gonna fall for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna be the sheep of the slaughter.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
like
even
swine,
when
huh?
yeah, even when Jesus Christ, the Messiah, was on this earth, and people knew that the Messiah was gonna come, because Moses will
Hmm.
talk about it, John the Baptist will talked about it, that the Messiah is
Yeah,
coming, and then when the Messiah came, they still didn't believe him. They still didn't.
yeah.
They thought that he was a
It
devil
was a
worshiper,
yeah,
you
that
know.
too, and a false prophet.
But yet they were fucking worshiping the devil.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jesus was
That
right
be,
in front of them, and they still didn't believe.
mm,
They wanted to see
that
magic and wonders, and
yeah,
he showed them wonders, but
that's true. That's true.
and they still didn't
And did you
believe.
hear? And did you hear about the one that it's on Israel right now? That all the Jewish people are worshiping him and
Yeah, I
kissing
seen
his hand.
that. I seen that video. Yeah,
Mhm.
that you sent me. I was like, and the kid is
Yeah,
only fucking in his 30s.
yeah. That's the
Uh,
the same age as Jesus. That's the
yeah,
coincidence, you know, because Jesus
yeah,
was on this earth around 30 years or around there. You know,
yeah,
so it's happening today. Like they're dancing with them, and he's even playing me piano music.
yeah.
So
That's
that's like
crazy.
telling the world,
Well, that
and
says
and
it
it's crazy.
in the Bible too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy because they're just like dancing with them, having a big party, dude. They're all like, because they say, hey, he knows the Quran by heart since he was a kid,
oh, the
and
Quran. Yeah,
yeah, no one doesn't know, no one doesn't able to do that. You know what
yeah.
I'm
I
saying?
know. He said that he could he could read it without even reading the book.
Yeah,
He knows it like by heart. I mean, and by that they believe him. It's
yeah,
like me and you could read the Bible like fucking 100 times, and we can
hmm,
probably know all the scriptures from Genesis all the way to Revelation.
right,
It
right,
doesn't mean that I'm a prophet, you know.
yeah,
But there's a difference. You knowing it and taking action on it, and lead
Yeah.
the people the right way, not to worship,
Right.
because that's worshiping an idol pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And they're
because he
saying
ain't
that,
God.
yeah, because they're saying, I don't know if you saw the other video that they're saying that he's starting to heal people now. You know.
Oh yeah, well that's what it says in the Bible. Beware of these people that believe that they're the Messiah, because they're going to show
Yeah.
you wonders and sorceries and magic, and they're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
have
Correct.
a what did they say? I think it's in Galatians and Corinthians. I don't know, one of them scriptures, but it warns us about all that, and people that have a smooth talk, and but in the inside they're ravaging wolves. They could come with sheep clothing, but inside they're just ravaging wolves that are seek to destroy
Yeah.
humanity and
Disguisable.
souls,
They
pretty much.
disguise
Yeah,
themselves.
that's why
Yeah.
you gotta know the pretty much common sense. Pretty much common sense, It's just
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
you talk about all these little, these false prophets like Jim Jones and
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Koresh and all them guys. There's fucking
Yeah.
people are sick, you know.
Yeah. Because I mean, they're charismatic, right? That's what
Yeah,
leads them. That,
yeah, yeah.
just like
They're
Charles Manson, the same way.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they're charismatic and it gets them. So they
yeah,
got their charm. So that's how they work their way with people. And
yeah,
some of
and
these people that have the charms, they know how to manipulate.
yeah. They manipulate their mind. They control it,
Hmm.
but they preach to what they want to preach on their agenda, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they they want to lead the people to believe him, so he's gonna lay out different scriptures, but on his own
In his own
standings.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe bend some of the words, and that's how they get them. But when see people like that, when they get controlled like that, and they don't question it, then you're a moron, a fucking
Yeah.
moron.
Yeah.
You
And
gotta
it's
question everything.
yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true. That's true.
it's just like years ago, my ex. I ain't gonna mention
Hmm.
the name, but she was Jehovah Witness,
Hmm.
and I was so curious. I was curious to that religion, so I went to a
Uh-huh.
few of them. I went to a few of them,
Hmm.
and and I would look at it. It's like being in a cult.
Yeah, it is.
You go into the. I went to, and who can relate to me is Gooch, because his ex was a Jehovah Witness too.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
remember.
I think
Yeah.
that'll be on a different topic. But it's pretty interesting. But I'm just
Yeah.
gonna talk a little brief. But man, I used to go to him, right, and then because she wanted me to go and
Yeah.
trying to turn me into one of them.
Yeah.
And you'll go to them, and it's like being in no windows. They didn't have
Hmm.
no windows. I mean, it was just like a little room, and they would dictate whatever the published. They have these books, right? That they get it from the Watchtower. So get
Yeah.
these books, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
then whatever they dictate, whatever that pamphlet is talking about, that's what they preach. So they don't
Hmm.
they don't go off scripture. They just go beyond whatever that pamphlet is saying.
Like bit by
So
bit,
there's no
huh?
free, yeah. So it's not a free will of the spirit. You know what I mean? Like the free will of what the scripture's saying in the Bible. They go what they're dictating them for them
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
preach. I was like, damn, that's mind control. That's like Illuminati. That's what Freemasons. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
exactly like that. Well, comes to find out that like I started questioning, like, why is it that you know, they don't celebrate birthdays? And
Yeah.
I started
That's
discovering it back. I was like,
same
fucking
here. I was wondering about that too. They don't celebrate Christmas, birthdays, and
nah,
etc. Right? Like,
because they figure, well, because it's supposedly it's two feasts were recorded in the Bible. Well,
uh-huh.
I could tell you one thing: Jehovah Witness don't read the Bible. They just read whatever is dictated on the pamphlet. You could tell them verses and
Yeah.
shit. They won't know what the fuck you're talking about. And it's crazy because it's on the same Bible they get, because they have their
Yeah.
own Bible. But if you look at their Bible and in any new version or King James version, it's the same thing. But
Hmm.
they don't read scriptures, or you'll never hear them say, well, Proverbs says this and that. They will never
Yeah.
say that. They're always gonna go with a pamphlet first. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to me, it's like, if you're gonna go based on a pamphlet, then why do you guys carry the Bible for? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
They're carrying the
useless.
Bible
And
and the pamphlet. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and they're always with the pamphlets. So it defeats the purpose of having a Bible. Then what are you having a Bible for? If you're gonna
Yeah.
be dictated by those little pamphlets, then why should I have a Bible?
Yeah.
But
That's
mind
true.
control, dude. It's mind control, and it's a
It's
cult.
like it's just a job, huh? It's like a job for
Yeah,
them. It's not really like the
and the
worshiping. That's
yeah, and then the creator of that, the creator of that, that creator of that
yeah.
religion
That's
was a Freemason Illuminati. His
exactly.
name
I was
is
gonna keep.
his name is Charles T. Russell. And if you
Yeah.
look
There you
at
go.
his if you look it up on YouTube, right? His name is
Hmm.
Charles T. Russell. For people who are listening, trying to become a Jehovah's Witness, do your research. But these guys that
Hmm.
created all these that religion was a Freemason, and his tomb is a fucking pyramid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, triangle. So what does that tell you? You know,
Yeah. And then huh?
but you tell them that, oh no, but that was the past. We did mistakes back then. Well, why you follow the fucking past?
Yeah.
Stupid. You can never come up with a fucking clear answer. And same thing
Yeah.
with that
That's.
other guy, Frank Rutherford. He was
Hmm.
a diehard Jehovah Witness too, and he was a predicting it. This was where you get him. He predicted. I don't know the exact date, but it was in the '70s that the world was going to come to an end. See, their main goal is the revelation. They always based on revelation and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the end of the world and genocide and all
And
that.
and
That's all they
stuff,
talk
huh?
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they prepare you for the upcoming days. But I bet you this, when it really does come, I bet you they don't even know how the fuck to handle it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
No, that's right.
they never read Revelations.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear a horn, they're gonna freak out. They're gonna hear the
Yeah.
trumpet, they're gonna freak out.
Yeah. Because
But
they only go by little sentences, like part
yeah,
bit by part, shit,
yeah,
bit by bit.
yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah. That's right.
so
You're right.
that guy, Frank Rutherford, I think is Rutherford, I believe. I could be mistaken,
Uh-huh.
but I know it's Frank Rutherford. But anyways, that guy was predicting the end of the world, and I think it was in the '78 or something like that. It was gonna come, and that's it. God spoke to me. Well, the day came, and then nothing happened. Second day, nothing happened, and the third day, nothing happened. It was still the world was keep fucking turning.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I forgot because I had read the story. I did a lot of research. This was I did all my research. You know where I did my research on all of this? It was in the
Where?
joint.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go to
That's
the
when you
library and start reading. Yeah.
wrote every
Yeah, I wrote
scripture, right?
everything. Yeah.
Because
And
you were
so when
probably
I got
bored.
out,
Yeah.
I was still doing my research on it, and I found out a lot
Yeah.
of stuff about them. And I was like, man, these guys were on LSD or something.
Jeez. Can you imagine?
I'm sure they were on drugs on those times, dude, because
Yeah. For
to
sure.
predict the end of the world is coming. I think he passed away, or I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he committed suicide. I don't know what happened. I forgot the story, but
Yeah.
I'll look it up and I'll reiterate it on it. But
Was
it's crazy, dude.
funny.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Hey, so and then what else?
that's all I got to say with that. But I wanna talk more about it. I want to elaborate it more on, because
Hmm.
me and the Gucha, we know how that goes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's crazy
We
because
could
you could
probably say
say
that to the next.
they have a lot of halls, and uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they all
It
dressed
looks
up
kind of creepy, huh?
in suits. Yeah, they're all dressed up in suits. You have to come in suits. But if you're big, trying to learn it,
Hmm.
you could go casual. But that's another question that arises too. Okay, in the Bible it says, don't reject a poor man trying to get into my house, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in fact, you put him in the front, no matter how
Yeah.
what he's wearing. So I'm here figuring out like, well, I haven't seen no poor people coming into this place, but I could just
Mm-hmm.
imagine him coming out. They might even kick him out because everybody's all suit up. Everybody's
Yeah.
wearing a suit and tie because you got to wear a suit and tie. I wonder how
Uh-huh.
they're gonna react if the poor man will come into the house.
Yeah, that's true. We
Uh,
should make a test on that.
yeah, I feel like
Put,
dressing like
yeah.
a bum and go in there and see how they react, and
How
then
they
I'll throw them
react,
the
yeah.
scriptures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
just
there was one incident on the news I heard. There was one poor man going into a church. I think it was a Christian church, or I don't know if it's Catholic, but
uh,
he was going in. They were just kicking him out. They didn't want him in there because he smelled bad, and well, he was all poor and all that stuff, and you were just kicking him out. And from there on, that's all I knew. I mean, I didn't really follow it that much on the news, but I just like a little bit. It just popped out as a church. I mean, poor man goes to church, got kicked out. You know,
wow, that's
from
crazy.
yeah, that was like maybe a year ago, so some sort. I forgot. It was before I doing the podcast. That was. But it's a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, that's very interesting the way you're explaining it because the Gooch has had experience about that too because his ex-wife was a Jehovah Witness. But correct me if I'm wrong, but Jehovah is God's name, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
Jehovah's God's name. It's the name
yeah,
of
it's
God,
God's
right?
name.
Himself.
But there's a lot of names that he has that says it on Genesis. I think the Jehovah one where they got that was from the beginning of Genesis, where his name
Yeah.
says Jehovah. There's another. He has I think it's Jehovah Jireh or something like that. Yeah. But it mentions
Yeah.
it in Genesis,
But
so they ran
they
with
just
that.
so they
Yeah,
just read the book and they just put the name Jehovah and then they just put a Jehovah Witness, huh? They just
yeah,
grabbed that name, just
yeah.
picked it and just put it
They
on there, right?
classify them. They classify themselves like the chosen people for some reason.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if they were from Israel somewhere in those regions.
yeah,
And at the same time they're fucking arrogant. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's true.
and
And but the
it's
thing that
it just say, huh? Go
no,
ahead,
the
sir.
thing that I was curious that they never celebrate their birthdays. You said
Yeah,
and
that
Christmas, like
yeah, that
holidays.
was a
Another.
yeah, yeah. It's a trip how they. And I had asked them before, like, well, what's the deal with the birthday? Why can't you cannot
Mhm.
celebrate it? Because there was two birthdays recorded in the Bible, and that's why. But it doesn't say not to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah,
Where tell me where the scriptures say you cannot celebrate it. You know,
yeah.
but I guess it's the
It,
right thing for them to do, and they want to honor Jehovah.
yeah,
And
yeah. Well, they
but
do celebrate, right? They celebrate too. I don't know why they say
uh,
that not to celebrate.
they do. It's just
Yeah,
but the old people, the older cats, they don't. They just
they
live a
don't.
boring life, pretty much. They don't like have
Yeah,
exciting. And I noticed that
yeah,
some of them are just fucking miserable, dude. They're just like, and most of them are crazy and nuts
yeah, yeah.
because I mean, especially
Well,
when you're born to it, it's just like your mind's already controlled
yeah,
to that
yeah.
religion.
And I think they're
So
like the worst. No, yeah, the way I say worst is, I mean, the way I think they're like more worse because they're more like there's people that they party more than any average person. There's
yeah,
some.
some do.
I don't think
Yeah,
all of them,
some. Not all of them. A
but
lot of them are just hermits.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Uh,
But well,
you know.
you got to know one, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, she wind up being a witch.
yeah. She ended up being a wildcat, dude.
I don't
Mm.
know. It's just like when you follow this script in this religion, I don't know what
Yeah,
religion you're following. But I mean, I'm not here to judge. I mean, we're
yeah,
not all perfect.
yeah, that's true.
Uh,
No,
but
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's a trip.
And then you sent me this video on YouTube, and you're letting me know about this UFO, and whatever the I call it what the video you sent me
Oh yeah,
about
the declassified.
science and all that stuff. Yeah, and you know, and I was speaking about that in the our late our before episodes about that, and I didn't even have to I didn't even have to look at the YouTube. But whatever I said, I mentioned it. You know, it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like common
uh,
sense. It's I mean, for everybody that's open minded, it's common sense. You know,
yeah, correct.
I was
You
tripping out.
know, so I ran into this video, right?
Hmm.
And this is already after we already talked about all this. Me,
Yeah.
you, Remo, and the Gooch,
Hmm.
and we talked about this. I mean, we didn't. We I think we talked about it in uncovering the deception on some of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of it,
And so I was tripping out
like
because some of
like
the feedback that we said and we said, and so when I watched this video, I was like, I was floored because damn, this is what we were all talking about. Exactly
yeah.
what we were talking about.
Exactly what we're talking
So, so yeah, I want to touch bases on that. It's a trip that video, dude. For people who are
about.
listening, you gotta watch. You gotta go to YouTube. It's called In Times Production, and it's called Declassified. I believe it's.
Yeah.
Is it called Declassified, Joe?
Yeah. Disclassified.
Yeah. Well, that
It reveals of
it's a trip.
this classified. But
Yeah, it's a.
I was like I was saying, I was speaking about that the one we were talking on that episode. I was like, I go, whatever I said, it was whatever I said in the YouTube. What I
Yeah, I
mentioned.
know. That's why I sent it to you. I was like, damn, dude, this
Yeah.
is what you were mentioning. And then we were talking about the Giants.
Hmm. And they
And
eat people back then. They were eating people. That was
yeah.
their main dish.
So
The
to me, it makes sense why how these pyramids were built.
crew.
Because there
Yeah.
was no cranes back then. There was no
Yeah.
rigging equipment that you could rig up these stones in Egypt or in the Aztec or or the or the ones in Pueblo, those the little civilization they have in the
Yeah.
cliffs, dude, in the cliffs
Mm.
of the mountains. Like how was that made? There was no they had no excavation equipment to carve all that, you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
And if you've seen, that's the one place I want to go see. It's in Puebla. It's in Colorado, where
Yeah. Yeah.
they have these civilizations, and I think it's in Colorado or maybe in New Mexico, but they have that
Probably.
civilization right there. They have the civilization in the canyons, like right on the cliff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I was like, I was intrigued, dude, because like I was mentioning it that on the last episode that this figure, this antichrist is gonna appear, right? And whatever it said in that video, it was like right on, dude, because this antichrist is gonna come, and these beams are coming out in portals, and I think those portals are hell. Like
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
physically they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out physically, and the entities are that in the sky, like they're like orbs in the sky.
yeah,
I think they're entities, souls flying around. I think they're souls, evil entities. Their souls going around possessing, putting possession on people. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
and I
yeah,
think that they're around, and they're around, and they just want to know if they're the antichrist, the one they're gonna worship. They want to know is it the right time for him to give him power, more authority to everybody. I mean, to him, to give him the high
yeah,
power authority to the world. He's gonna do. He's gonna have a lot of high authority to the world that they're gonna make us worship him. These
yeah,
entities, what I'm thinking, and they're gonna all these entities that we're seeing in the skies, they're all like orbs and all that. I think those are all they're gonna possess all the people, so with that way they could force us to worship this guy. You know, so the time's not here yet, but I think that's why they're coming around to check if it's the time, for him to rule. You
yeah.
know, I don't
No,
know if
yeah,
I'm saying it correctly, but
no,
and
I
I'm making
agree with it.
sense, but that's what
I
I
agree
think.
with it.
Because
Well, this video, well, no, exactly what you were saying is that what we were talking about the portals, they do exist,
Yeah, yeah,
and these portals are where the entities are coming from. And
right, right.
when you open up that door, which that's what they were saying in the video, is that JPL, which is James Patterson, they used to call is it James Patterson Laboratories, which is
Yeah,
all
that's the one.
the one with the NASA has well, there were scientists trying to build the rocket, and he
Yeah,
was trying to
yeah.
figure that out. And he collabed with that guy, that Scientologist, the guy. What's that guy's name? I forgot that dude's name. Um, Let me look it up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But anyways, they wind up
Mhm,
collabing with each other. So he was saying that in order for him to build that rocket, and this is what I always said, how is a regular human being
mhm.
could fucking get a paper and build a fucking rocket? You know what I mean? It's like where you could be the most fucking brightest motherfucker in the world and have that IQ of physics and
Mhm.
mathematics, for you to fucking know that formula to make a rocket. Like it doesn't. I know that one person can't, because I don't, I haven't heard anybody saying this guy was the first man building this rocket.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah, that's
never
true.
hear that. You'll never hear
Mhm.
that because there isn't. Because these entities that guy James Patterson opened up that portal,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he discovered it, and he was by himself, and showed him all this, how to do it, you know,
All the technology, right?
all the technology, how to do it. So he was just like amazed, and I think he told that guy from the one of his coworkers. He goes, "I think I opened it." He
Oh
goes,
shit.
"But," "But it was all black magic. Everything was all
Yeah,
black
yeah,
magic."
yeah,
So that's how this nuclear, like these nuclear bombs, everything that has to do with destruction, what is that based on? With who's
yeah,
related to? Well, Lucifer.
yeah, yeah.
Lucifer likes to destroy humankind, but he has black magic, and if you believe in that black magic, it will show you wonders. All right, and so it
Yeah.
showed him wonders. But the thing is, what he had to do, and he didn't want to do it, but because they wanted to beat this thing with Russia and all this,
Yeah. They want to be
so
the first one.
he had to worship that entity, even though he
Jeez.
didn't want to, but basically selling his soul.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
that's how these entities, and they're very powerful entities, I'm telling you, showed him the formulas of how to make it, because he sold his soul. So
yeah.
once you sell your soul, I mean, sky's the
That's
limit
it.
for them. And it goes
Mm-hmm.
on to the next one and the next one and the next one. See, these people got to be connected to these fucking evil entities to succeed.
Right.
And the devil's been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, and even from the Aztecs to all these empires, even the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to build
Well, I was,
a fascinated, temples and stuff. I'm not saying most of them are, but some of them were
well,
through God, but from evil entities. They had to worship. That's why, like the Aztecs, they always had a sacrifice, because they had to
mhm,
keep that civilization going, because they
yeah.
thought, because of these, because they saw on each civilization, you're always going to see a spiral, and that's what that video is
Yeah.
talking about. They have a spiral. Where that spiral is a fucking portal, and then
Okay.
they always have like monster creatures coming out of that portal, and
Yeah.
that's on that one Chaco Canyon. They have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
spiral. The cliff dwellings in Colorado, which is called Mesa Verde, they have the same thing, the spiral. Aztecs have the spiral, but it's all
Oh yeah.
portal.
Yeah.
The Egyptians have the spiral, but And most of them were giants coming out of portals too. Some were coming out with monsters, and some were coming as human form.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's, you know what? It sounds like the that project they have over there by the never, what is it at I think in Australia. I think it's in England or something. I forgot, dude. My bad. But I mean, I usually read about the CERN. Have you heard of CERN?
yeah, yeah,
That's what they do. They're, when they get the God particle and they're trying to create the Big Bang, and but that
yeah,
thing they say opens portals. So
yeah,
that's like another way opening the gates to hell, from hell, to hell. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
and it's like the same shit. I
yeah,
mean, it says one time that I just saw it on YouTube, but now they took it out. They took it out of
yeah,
YouTube, and they said that one of the scientists that was working in the CERN, the Large Hadron
yeah.
Collider. I mean, it says that when that thing was going on, he said that giants were coming out of that portal, and spirits were coming out too. And
Yeah, and
they
that's
said
been going
it
on.
was so
Yeah,
scary they were so scared that they didn't want to open it no more. And but they haven't opened it to. I think they started opening the CERN thing since March, I think, but they haven't done it since.
but the giants do they do exist
Good.
back
Yeah.
then, and it says it in Genesis. In the
Hmm.
Bible, it says that there was giants before in this world.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, let me see. I forgot what verse it was, but it says it on Genesis about giants. But yeah, it's a trip. And the what the crazy part is
Uh-huh.
so this guy was fascinated about the giants. It kind of makes sense how these people built this civilization.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was so the guy goes. So he went to Chaco Canyon. The guy Chaco Canyon is in New Mexico. It's like north of Albuquerque, and right there's Navajos. But Chaco Canyon, there was a tribe, there was a civilization, and they it's a national park now. You can go to them and look at all these caves, and it's fascinating. I want to actually go to it. But anyways,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guy goes, uh, he goes, he asked the guy, I saw some prints, you know, six finger, six
Oh
finger,
yeah. Yeah. Fingers, hands,
toes,
and
six and
yeah, toe,
hands,
6 toe.
because they had them printed in Colorado and Mesa Verde.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cliff dwellings that they had. That's another
Yeah.
place too that I want to go. But and he goes, "Oh, you're talking about that?" He goes, "Yeah, we closed that off. It's not access to the public." And the guy goes,
Jeez.
I wonder why. Yeah, you can't go to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can only go to where it's permitted, but they got that one pretty tight. You can't access and
Yeah.
look at it.
Locked
So
up.
they do have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do have it.
So you're telling me
Uh,
that they might be having giants
yeah,
on where that right now?
yeah.
Really?
Why would there be a restricted area now?
I
Why
mean,
why why
do they
why
have them
that
chained
area
up?
where the prints, because where the prints of those giants, why did they restricted that part? But you can see the
Yeah.
whole national park, but except for that part.
I mean, they could escape, can they? Or they have them chained up?
No, no, not the actual giants, but the prints.
Oh, oh, okay,
You know
okay,
how they
okay.
have a bunch of paintings and all that?
Yeah,
Because in the
the
paintings,
wall.
it's gonna say that there were giants.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay.
that area is restricted. Who knows? There might be giants in there. That's why they probably restrict it, because they might
Yeah,
eat up the humans.
yeah. They
And
probably
that's
have
what
them
the
chained
guy,
up.
yeah, probably. And so the guy goes, the guy was saying after that, he was saying I guess the commentator had asked him, do you think that the giants do exist? He goes, yeah, I think they do. He goes, no, I think he said they do exist in the
Uh-huh.
middle of nowhere of in mountains.
Hmm.
And he goes, if you ever notice that every time when people go hiking, they always wind up being missing,
True, huh?
and they never found them because they hike so deep, and
Hmm.
who knows what they found and gone.
Yeah, they,
You know what I
they
mean?
probably got eaten up because it says explains that they will eat humans, huh?
Yeah, it says they eat humans.
And that's when the story of David and Goliath, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I was gonna mention that. So there were
that's what they
giants because David
yeah.
and Goliath.
And you know, and when I was watching the video, it even says and explains that I forgot the Scientologist guy. I forgot his name. You might know it.
Yeah,
Well, they're saying that how does Hollywood thought of scientific stuff like in the movies and all that stuff, and because they got it from the entities, like that's where they
yeah,
started from. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like who in the right mind, like you said earlier about the rocket, but who in
yeah,
the right mind thinks about fucking like science stuff like aliens and stuff like that, and who will come up with that you know
yeah,
in the movies. So it started from right there, and since the movie, and it
yeah,
says that Hollywood has something to do with it, but they're just putting it kind of classified, you know because it says
yeah,
that in the video. It says that in the video too. It says that that's how Hollywood got it from,
yeah.
and that's how
Well, yeah, they get
like
all
it's
these ideas. Well,
yeah, the
because
ideas.
because they gotta generate money and they gotta be famous at the same time. So they have to worship some evil entity for them to get to that
Mm.
level. You know what I mean? So the evil entity is gonna show you everything.
Right, right,
All you have to do is sell your soul. So that's why they come with all these ideas because they don't have a soul no more. So they see
right.
everything now, in the evil side,
Yeah, yeah. And
and and then I found a verse. It's Genesis 6:4. It,
mhm.
it says it talks about the Nephilim, which
Oh yeah, that's goosebumps.
they meant for the they mentioned it just before the flood account.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
which states the Nephilims were on the earth in those days, which are the giants, were on the earth
mhm.
in those days, and also afterwards when the sons of God went into the daughters of the humans who bore children to them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's not gonna believe that? And
And then
everybody
in
thinks it's.
Yeah, and then Genesis in 6:4 King James version, it says there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they were bare and they bare children to them,
Mhm.
and that's how these giants. So it says it in black and white right there. You know?
Yeah,
So for people that are listening, they're not saying that well whacked out, but it's
yeah.
out there.
It's
You
because
know?
like I said in my last episode, I said that the ones that are really awake are the ones that believe, like
Yeah.
the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. Those are
Hmm.
the ones that are really awake, and the ones that don't believe in all that stuff, those are the ones that are asleep. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna
Oh
they're gonna
no.
and it says in the Bible, it says in the Bible too that they're all gonna deny Jesus and all that stuff. They're gonna say that, as it is, they thought Jesus was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if you believe in Jesus, you're gonna, and you talk about Jesus and everything, oh, he's crazy and this and that. It's crazy. It's the way of how life is.
Yeah.
Everybody's crazy just because you believe in something, and the
Yeah.
thing that is true. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of, and
It
like
just
the people that,
no, that you got a point on that one, dude. Because it's just okay. It's like if me and you will go to a let's just say me and you gonna go hiking to a mountain and we see these fucking
Mhm.
giants or whatever. It's not gonna change my
Yeah,
belief of God
yeah,
because God is with me, with us,
yeah,
because we have the spirit in us. But
hmm,
it's not gonna change my mind and say, oh shit, now I'm gonna believe that this and that,
hmm,
and they're gonna believe on the wrong entity that's gonna take their soul. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So pretty much, like you said before, it's common sense, but a lot of people don't have common sense.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people like to be dictated,
But let me make an
dictate their
example.
lives.
It's like a dog doesn't have no common sense crossing the street, dude.
Yeah,
Like, oh, it doesn't know when to cross, what time, what perfect timing to cross the street because they don't know they're gonna get hit by a car, right?
yeah,
That's the way
yeah,
the people are. Like, they don't believe in anything, and but like God said, you have sin and you die with sin, and that's like almost the same thing, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And
There's
like
no
it's
measure.
like there's no they don't have sense. Like if you
Yeah,
had common sense, you believe in God, you will live longer. You'll choose your right path. But like a dog doesn't have no sense, like when to cross. The dog doesn't know when to cross the street when the car's coming, right? That's why you always see
yeah,
a dog get run over or a raccoon. You know,
yeah,
they're gonna choose a path, and that's when they choose the wrong path. They die with sin. You know,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they're
gotta
just
come.
blinded, pretty much
Yeah,
blinded, and it's
yeah.
getting worse, man. It's getting worse. It's like the what you mentioned before, like this Antichrist young kid, dude, and I think he had an English name. I think he was born in the States or something like that,
Mhm.
because I think he speaks different languages too.
Yeah, they say he's part Jewish and Islamic. He's
Yeah.
half that.
See, where did his
But he,
that where's that all that come from? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And 30 years old, come on, you had to be worshiping somebody to for Lucifer to give you that magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like everything. It's like what I mentioned before, making music. This guy
Mhm.
didn't know how
Mhm.
to play a fucking guitar. This blues singer didn't know how to play
Mhm.
a fucking guitar, and then he went to the crossroads, and then he met the devil, and then the devil told him, "I can make you famous, and I'll make you be the biggest blues singer and a blues guitarist." And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, when he came back, he was making hits,
Oh,
making
really?
hits, boom, boom. Yeah, that's what the crossroads means. And Eric
Jeez.
Clapton, and I think Bob Dylan, and all them blues singers that
Yeah.
sang that song. But that's what
Jeez.
it's talking about. It's talking
That's
about when they
crazy.
met the devil, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he knew how to play the guitar. And then after, I think years ago after that, he got so drunk because I guess
Yeah.
he got tired of worshiping the devil. But after that, he sucked. He didn't even know how to play a guitar.
Jeez. And then
Isn't that trip?
that
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's all black magic, man. Everything that you see is magic. There's black magic. They have to worship all that. They got to keep
Mhm.
continually and along, dude. And along goes with sacrifice too, because guy JPL James, they were
Mhm.
sacrificing people in the bases.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah.
That was they were mentioning that in that video too, that they had a sacrifice for them to get more answers and more formulas for them
Yeah.
to
True.
succeed to where they need to make. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not about fucking you going to Harvard for fucking 10 years and try to get a bachelor's degree on fucking physics and all
Yeah.
that bullshit. I mean, you might know the fucking basics, but do you actually know the whole fucking formula of fucking creating a?
Yeah.
And, and I worked in the base, and they have these museums
Mhm.
of missiles, dude. There's a lot to this motherfucker in there. It's just not just a missile. It's fucking gadgets in there. It's like, and you think about how the fuck you know what to fucking put in this fucking missile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many fucking wiring and chips inside. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot goes into one missile, dude. One missile,
It does,
and
dude.
different
It
ones.
kind of
You got
makes you
the
think, huh?
Tomahawk, and then you got different kinds of missiles too. There's like shitload of fucking different missiles. What what it can do and what it does, and what uh
Yeah.
what position it'll go to. The gravity of it. It's a trip. Where does this shit
Yeah.
come from? There's only
Yeah.
one
Makes you.
fucking one answer to that is, well, Lucifer.
Yeah.
Anything that
Yeah.
has to do with destroying human mankind, Lucifer. Of course,
Yeah.
Lucifer is gonna give you the formula.
Well, yeah,
You
dude,
know?
that's the way he wants to rule the world. It's just like the same thing. What you mentioned too, because Lucifer was trying to convince Jesus Christ. Remember,
Yeah.
like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you want if you want to rule the world, I'll dare you to jump to this, and I'll give you the whole empire. You know, Or if you say you're God and this and that, try to make that rock into bread and this and that, you know.
Yeah,
And that's the way it was. But Jesus didn't resist it, you know. He resisted. I mean, he resisted the
yeah,
temptation, you know.
because you worship the Father up in heaven,
Yeah.
same Creator that created Lucifer. And that's what I was
Hmm.
saying in some of the shows that we mentioned is that you cannot say, even though these guys sold their souls, you cannot fucking say that God above Jehovah doesn't exist, because if you say that, then you're an atheist. Because even like in the Bible says, even the devil knows that there's a God, and
Hmm. Hmm.
what do they say? They shiver when they see him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they know. But when those guys are so caught up into that evil entity, they're willing.
Hmm.
They don't care no more, you know. And that's why I'm saying, like, now you see these crazy ass events that's going on, like random shit that's going on in this time right now. It's all that loose entity. All the portals are opening up, and all these little
Yeah.
evil entities, I believe that they get into these people, and
Yeah.
they
That's
wind up
right.
doing these random shit. So,
Hmm.
and then with all these drugs now, these new drugs like fentanyl getting laced in different formulas now, it's just a cocktail of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there was one thing on the video they were mentioning that there's a real those real giants are chained up. They're from they're
Yeah.
evil entities,
I,
but they're underground, right? They're like
yeah,
an underground
underground.
tunnel, but they're chained up, but they're physically normally they're literally chained up. But
Yeah,
I think they're chained up by God. I mean, until God knows it's the right time to unchain them, right? That's what it said
something
in the
like,
video.
yeah, that's what he was mentioning. And what do you think?
When these
Area 51 so restricted that nobody can go in there. You try to go in there, they'll fucking shoot you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
definitely. And I think like and I think that from if correct me if I'm wrong on this one too, in each base, like okay, we got one in Area 51, we have another base in each state there's a base, right?
yeah,
But how you notice that like they're always secluded, like in segregated in each spot, you know?
yeah.
Like Area
Even
51 for example.
yeah,
But
Edwards Air Force Base it's in the boonies.
yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
they might have portals at each base.
no, that's what they were saying.
Mhm.
They have portals on an Air Force base.
And I
Um,
think and I think these entities tell the government not to do it yet. That's not the time. When it's the time, we'll let you know. That's probably what they're telling the government or each government in the whole
well,
world.
yeah. Which president? They mentioned about that too in a video about the. Was it what president was it? Hoover, I think it was, or no?
I think it was Eisenhower, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was one of them presidents that met one of the entities, one of the
The entities.
grades,
Oh,
one
I
of the
think it was I
grades.
think it was
Eisenhower,
Eisenhower.
what was it? Yeah, that was a trip.
Eisenhower. What-
Uh,
Yeah. So I think this is my theory. All right. My theory is that I think every king in each state and country, or I mean country, they get notified by the evil entities not to do it yet. They get information from the entities, the ones that
yeah,
the ones that are visiting. I believe
yeah.
I think so. You know, I mean, I think they're
What?
telling. I think they're telling
What's
the kings of the world like, don't do it now. It's not the right time. And I think one time they're trying to use okay, for an example, 1982, I think the Cold War when Ronald Reagan was president, when Gorbachev was wanted to start a nuclear war against us back in I think it was the 80s or late 80s around there when Gorbachev wanted us. Well, we're like this close to having nuclear war in with the United States. They call it the Cold War, and it was Ronald Reagan between Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev, And I think we were this close having a nuclear war that day, but I think the entity said, "Nah, that's not. It's not the time. It's not the time yet." So I think that has a lot to do with it too, because we were this close. We're on the brink. I think it was in '88 because I remember I think 87, my bad. How come I say 87, 85? Because that was the time of Superman 4 was the quest for peace. And it was about the nuclear war, arms treaty and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I
Remember that
remember.
Superman movie? It's about nuclear war and it was a quest for peace and Superman get all the nuclear
Yeah,
missiles and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It was
It
about
was
that
in that
time,
era.
in
It
that
was in
era.
that era. Remember that era that we are gonna go to war with Russia,
Yeah, yeah.
and they were
And I think the
scaring the
entities
people.
had something to do with it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think the entities prevented that because they know it's not the time yet, you know.
yeah,
Or their Messiah hasn't arrived yet to give them a lot of authority to the world. Believe me,
yeah,
that's why the entities are coming around and trying to get authority to their Messiah. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I do. It's just like it's the feeling that I have. Like it's like saying that what we're seeing all these UFOs coming around and physically and uh what is it I call it a paranormal way, a phenomenon way, like a spiritual way. You
yeah.
got the physical, you got the spiritual ones. The spiritual ones are the ones that are presenting the people. The physical ones are the ones that are going to give a lot of authority to Antichrist. That's
The
what I believe in.
celestial. Well, it
Yeah,
mentions that in the Bible, the celestial and the
and most
spirit.
of them, when I heard when I was looking at the believe me, when I was looking at the video, we went Christmas shopping with Remo, and I was like zoned out hearing it. I was just hearing it and hearing it and hear. I go, oh shit, whatever I was talking about I was right. So
Yeah,
these they say they have 6 fingers, 6 toes, right? Like you were mentioning earlier, and
yeah,
they said that these partly they're gonna be half lizards, reptilian looking, and there's some that are grays, and there's some that are humanoids. So
yeah. And super
I think the
soldiers.
grays, yeah, and the grays are the ones that are manipulative ones, and the super soldiers are the ones that are humanoids. And I think the humanoids are the ones that are gonna make us worship. And you go, if you don't worship the beast or whoever it is, you're gonna give you or to kill us or denounce. They're gonna make us denounce Jesus. I'll
Yeah,
put it short in that. Just make it like that. That's what I believe. You know.
yeah. But
And
it's always what they always put on is the symbols.
hmm.
You know.
But yeah, that was an interesting video. I was
Yeah,
looking at.
yeah.
I mean, part of it I forgot. I mean, it's so
But
easy to explain it. Oh, go ahead.
this has been going on for thousands of years, and I mean,
Yeah.
even when this country even when this country got created or
Hmm.
got established, it was all through Illuminati.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, and
And the guy that worshiping, by the way, his name is Yanuka.
yeah,
Yanuk. That's his name. So you guys want to look it up in YouTube? That's his name. It's called Yanuka, something like that.
well, I'll tell you, if you want to know about how the Illuminati was created, it's actually an end times
Yeah. That's
production.
yeah.
It's it's
Yeah.
uh it's called 1967, dude. This guy was throwing the whole layer of the
Hmm. Hmm.
Illuminati the Illuminati, how it got established and got created, and
Yeah.
it chambered off like I think it's you got the United Nations, but you got all of them are run by the same elite. And it mentions a lot of you know Rothschild. When
Yeah.
the banking started coming up. I mean, those are the ones that really run the world. To be honest with you, is the banking, and the bloodline of Rothschild still continues to this day. think the old man's still living. Some of them.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's in,
those,
George Soros is still around. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the new generation of that bloodline, they're still they had to train them in a young age,
Hmm.
for them to continue the agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
and I was
So
thinking about this too. And
mhm.
like we were mentioning about the giants, right? And and back then they were eating people, right?
Yeah,
And I was,
yeah,
you know, how come that we're just noticing a lot of people vanishing, out of thin air, and probably people
yeah,
when they're probably in a saucer. They're the ones that are probably
yeah,
taking all the people, and they're probably eating them for dinner. You know,
yeah.
that's what I was
I,
thinking
I I mean,
myself. I was wondering about that. So like because every person is always disappearing and all that stuff, and people are saying that it's sex trafficking and all that stuff, and the harboring people and all that stuff. But sometimes I think I mean, it's not only that. It could be some people are just getting abducted by the giants, with this flying saucer, and that's all the
yeah,
only way they could eat. You know?
yeah. I believe that because there's people
Mm.
that disappear out of thin earth.
Yeah,
Either they got
yeah,
into a portal to a different world. I mean, it's just like the Aztecs. The whole civilization got vanished, dude. How did that become?
exactly.
Maybe they walked into the fucking portal, or these giants destroyed them. You know, and
Yeah,
some
yeah,
escaped and walked. Walked through from
mhm,
from Mexico all the way to Colorado.
yeah, yeah,
Some of them, not all of them, but the ones that
yeah.
they escaped from that. I know the all the empire, the ones that were evildoers, they got destroyed by you know,
Yeah.
by
So,
evil entities. You know,
so this explains too. So these giants were around since dinosaurs days too, right?
yeah,
These
yeah.
dinosaurs, you know.
Oh, well,
So
yeah.
that's.
There's so much. There's so much. What do you call it? So much dimensions
Hmm.
uh, of fascinating things that people don't think they exist. I mean, I believe they do exist.
How about this one?
Because
I'll give you.
when you start questioning, like, how did this thing, how did this happen? It's just, well, you got to question it, because if you don't question anything that fascinates
Yeah,
you, or you still have like that question, like, huh, how the fuck did this happen?
like that puzzle look, huh?
Yeah. And if you don't, and you
Well,
go
I
on
got
with your business life, you're a moron. But
you. Oh, I got you a good one. How about this one? Land of the Lost. They had portals. They were
oh yeah,
dinosaurs.
yeah, yeah,
You know, remember Land of the Lost?
yeah. Oh yeah, they have
So how did
portals
they get
too.
an idea?
Time travel.
Yeah, yeah. And how did they get an idea on that?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the boggle of my any person's mind. That's what boggles me too. You know.
Well, because in their mind they'll just say, "Oh, it's just Hollywood, just
Yeah, it's just
movies."
fancy scientific.
Uh,
So how did
but if you
scientific?
go, but I swear, if you go to all these like Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde and all these
Hmm.
little national parks, and you look at the civilization back then, you start questioning a lot. Like, fuck,
Yeah, yeah,
it'll turn your mind around, dude. And I mean,
yeah,
if you even look it up in the photos, you'll be like, God damn, how the fuck how they lived before? Like, who
yeah.
fucking created a Mesa Verde, a fucking dwelling place inside a
Mhm.
cave off the cliff, dude? Like, how the fuck did they do that? You know,
I know that's
this is
strange.
like, it's fascinating, dude. It's strange, yeah. How
And
people
I was
used to
wondering.
live back in those days,
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
But I was like,
don't
it's
tell
like
me that's
it's weird.
Hollywood.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know,
you know,
that's a trip.
But It is.
So if you
But
ever, you guys ever are in the New Mexico area or Colorado, go to those places, take a vacation, take your family. It's very interesting.
there's
Then
another
your
thing that,
question, then the questions arise.
and then the answer your questions right there. Your
Yeah,
question's been answered.
yeah.
And there's another
Then
one. There's another
then you come back
too.
to our show. He goes, "Oh, I know what they're talking about now."
Uh,
You know. But if you
yeah,
guys go to
right.
Choco Canyon, tell them about the 6 feet, the 6 finger foot, and the fingers. They'll tell you that it's a restricted area.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know
And
what? I don't know if you read about this one too, or you heard about it. They're saying that I think it's in every state right now that's going on, even Florida, Texas, and all them stuff, and even California, Los Angeles. Everybody's been noticing that the blue lights on the street corners and all that stuff. They're just mentioning that they're saying that's kind of weird because you know how your lights are being like they're supposed to be like bright light, but now there's like purple light and there's a blue light. And every lights when you go to the city, you'll see
yeah,
the lights off blue. So they're everybody's getting suspicious on that. Would it affect like people that they're saying? Well, their theories are thinking that could it be something that could affect people that had the I call it the COVID shot and all that stuff,
yeah,
or has some effect for people that could act strange. I don't know if you look it up. Well, they call it Lucifer, but
oh
they
no
just mentioned
shit.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't heard
they
that
call
one.
it
That's
Lucifer.
a new one. I'm gonna have to
Um,
look that one up.
I was looking it up, but it's really rare to find it. It's barely coming up because if you see it's in every state too. Every lights are blue and purple. So and
Hmm.
I really found this out today, and I
Oh,
was on TikTok.
yeah,
I was on
yeah,
TikTok. I found this on TikTok. So that's why I go, oh shit. I go Lucifer. I
yeah,
go, they're saying that could affect people that had the shot or the COVID shot.
yeah,
But who knows? I mean, it's just maybe they're saying it's just a defective light and all that stuff. I go, yeah, right, a defective light in every state have a defective light. Blue, it's supposed to be white.
yeah,
The street
yeah. I
lights,
heard.
right? I'm talking
Yeah,
about street lights.
yeah, yeah. I heard about that, but I never got into getting any feedback on it.
Yeah, yeah. I just barely found out today. So I
Yeah,
know a little bit on,
yeah. I heard
but
about that. They've been seeing like strange light. No, this happened a few months ago. I heard
uh
about it, but it was just
hmm
a brief that they will see these rare lights or something like that,
hmm
and
yeah,
they didn't know
purple
where it was
too.
coming from. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, it's yeah, I know now that I remember it. It's somebody told me about it. That they have this it's like
What is it?
no, I think it was a like a fucking it was a symbol or something that they have it in like in the middle of nowhere, but and it has a blue light on it or something like that. I gotta look
Yeah,
into it because somebody was telling me
yeah,
about it
yeah.
about
Because
months back.
when I found it on TikTok, it says the blue light it should be affecting a lot of people and all that stuff, and that's why people are going crazy and all that, and it could affect the people that have that COVID shot and all that. I don't know. There's a lot of theories about it, but yeah. So, and then there's another thing I heard too is that they got the zombie virus and stuff like that. They
Oh
came out the
shit!
so
Well,
I
there's
don't know. I
already
think that's
zombies walking already.
I know, right?
Other
And
people on
and
drugs.
they found it in India. So see what happens on that one. You know.
No, it's just like
Yep.
when your brother was saying about the people in Skid Row that are really deep into that fentanyl, that are really addicted. That they have these sores and I was
Oh yeah,
listening
and
to one
it
cat
says
that
that
was
in the
addicted.
Bible too.
Yeah, that they had. This one cat was saying that one of his buddies, his flesh was coming out, hanging, and still walking like that. Dude, fucking zombie.
That's
Your
true.
soul's already gone. Your temple's destroyed. You're just walking flesh, pretty much.
exactly. And then this,
You don't got
they're
no
like,
morals of living. I mean, your morals of all your main objective to life is getting high and trying to look for the hustle to get money to fucking buy the drug. That's all it is.
and did you see the video that Remo sent you? That the guy was just crouching down. That's
No,
how he stood.
dude, that's a trip, man.
He was
Yeah,
getting back,
it's real bad.
you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
man.
mean, it's like I said, man. I mean, people get prepared out there. I mean, it's getting worse. It's gonna get worse and worse. And it says in the Bible that prepare yourself and when don't wait till it's too late, because if you wait it's too late and you deny him, he's gonna deny you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's true.
Jesus will deny you. If you deny him, he's gonna deny you back. You know, and
Yeah, it's out there. They're throwing
yeah,
it
but
out there, man. It's not even a secret no more. It's
yeah,
you turn on the television, is you see it.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll discuss more on this on the next episode. And it was a good show, man. We had a lot to talk about, uh, and hopefully we uncover more deceptions for people to be aware. So to the next episode, we'll talk about more what we can uncover in this wicked world of ours that we live in this sick society, and the social ills of America. Until now, tune in and keep listening to the talkers. Ciao.
Oh, that sucked, dude. Cause hold on,
I know.
because when Remo called, it kind of separate you guys. It turned you off. Were you still on?
Yeah, I was on and I just said my goodbyes. I go, until next time, we'll talk about
Wait,
more
hold
of
on.
our. I don't know if you
It's because
see it.
I gotta eat it. Eat it. I mean, I gotta edit it again. Hold on.
I gotta get going, dude.
What did I do?
It's already 5. I gotta fucking get ready.
Okay. Hold on. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
Fuck, I gotta charge my batteries. Hey, dude, I gotta go. What's it called? Just try to edit it. If not, we'll edit it tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna edit it right now. I'm just gonna.
Let me call you. I'll call you back right now. Let me just get
Okay.
dressed. All right.
All right.
All right.